Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of the survival challenges of Plants vs. Zombies. As I said before, the footage is going to be slightly sped up, and I shall do this in post. This shall be for the rest of the survivals. We'll just end up this way because they can't really get under the 20-minute mark, which is what I need for Game Anyone to upload it onto there. So it's going to be slightly sped up, which is pretty good anyway, because it's not the most enjoyable at times. Now this is these are the normal modes, as you saw, probably, at least what you saw. The next row under these, or if you had a little bit of intuition type things. If this is normal mode, then the next would have to be hard, obviously. Which is actually not all that hard, you just have to survive more flags. That's about it. They throw more zombies at you. But nighttime, one thing you're probably going to want to remember is to bring the Grave Buster as soon as possible. Because the graves are rather annoying. One thing to note, if you did not remember, the graves only show up in this version of night. They don't show up on the pool level, which there will be the pool level later. Now, I do not know if each of the clips, because how Fraps records, it records in, until it gets to, I think it's like 3.5 gigs per episode type thing. So, it only gets to that much. So I tried to put each of them in half, so they should be relatively the same amount of same speed. The only surefire way I know they'd be at the same speed is if I make them as short as possible, which would be, this would be like a 4.5 minute video. And it would be going by so fast that you wouldn't really be able to notice. Anyway, my strategy with this was, instead of using the kernel pulse like I had been using for the first one, and I will use a lot in the previous ones. Just going to try to use the the fume shrooms, because it's night, you can automatically use them. Might as well, you know, give them some spotlight time. And then on the back row, I'll put in the watermelons, because that's basically our hardest hitting thing. Sorry, I hit the mic, but basically our hardest hitting plant at the moment is that. You're probably going to want to put in the spike weeds for added damage, and also if there's ever like anything that has wheels on them. That's one thing to remember. Anything that has wheels will get knocked over by it. Not just the Zombonis. Sorry, there's zombie styled, so I have Zomboni. And something else, I do not think most of the time for normal mode, but for most of the time when we get to the hard mode ones, I try different kinds of, like, challenges. I'm air quoting again. They're not technically challenges, it's just like, okay, I have been doing whatever so many times before. Why don't I try something different? So, like, but, no. We'll get to them when we see them, or we'll see them when we get to them. And I'm still trying to do the 2 episodes a day thing. So Plants vs. Zombies is coming to a close pretty soon. That should only be 8 more episodes, which should only be 4 more days. Problem with that is that I will not be here on Wednesday. So there shouldn't be any uploads on that day. Or there could be a possibility of uploads, but they come up very, very late. So just wanted to warn you all about that ahead of time. think in the last episode I was talking about there being like added cost to it. I thought that might be in hard mode. That is not true. Hard mode, it stays the same thing, that everything stays the same cost, relatively. So the upgrades cost more, was what I was saying. That's not true. They all cost the same in hard mode. The Gloom Shroom upgrade just costs the same as it always would, which I think is like 150. I'm not quite sure. But what I was thinking of is that if you play Endless, just like every other of the minigame type things or the puzzles, where you get Endless and you can play as long as you want. In Survival also has an Endless mode, so which would take place on the day the first lawn that you'd play on, so you don't have to worry about any water or anything like that. But in that, the upgrades, I think it's only the upgrades, have an added cost. Which is like 5 sun every time you use it. So that can cause a little different strategy to it. But in this, it's pretty simple. Gravestones! As I said before, they are pretty annoying. For this, you're probably going to only want to put down how I situated it, that I'd have a possibility of 3 layers of spikeweed. You're probably only going to want 2, because the graves will pop up the closest they can to the plants, or have a possibility of popping up the closest to the plants if there isn't a plant there. If every square is filled, it'll pop up and destroy one of the plants on the farthest row to the right. So instead of taking extra cost of 175 sun to get rid of the grave and then put back another spikeweed, just put down 2. It does a fair bit of damage as it is. And I will tell you now, I am not getting all of the upgrades. Or, I'm not purchasing all of the upgrades from Crazy Dave. The Quad Heater, I don't exactly remember what it's called. The Repeater upgrade, I don't get that. The Spikeweed upgrade, I don't get that, but I think I get everything else. The Ice Melon, the upgrade for the Watermelon, is actually a very good upgrade. You really only need 3 of them, but I like to put them on every row just in case, because since the Watermelon does splash damage, the rows adjacent to it will also get the freezing effect as well. So right now, as you can see, everything is frozen, as long as something's in those rows and something else is on the adjacent rows. That's the one problem though. There could be a possibility that there's nothing in that other row. So that's why I like to put them on everyone. Just in case, you know. Let's see, I think we're on working on flag 5, so this should be pretty soon over. The normal mode survivals are really not that hard. If you're having a little bit of trouble on them, just kind of change up what you've been doing. That's one thing I can always say in almost every game. If it doesn't work, don't keep trying to do it. Try to change it up. This is the final wave. And let's see. And boom goes the dynamite. We win. Right here. So I'm Zachary Chuckum. Thank you for watching, and have fun gaming, guys. See you on the next episode. We also get the corn, like, hop cannon. 1, 2, 3.